Do we finally have the setup for Belly to choose herself? Episode 9 of The Summer I Turned Pretty might just be the turning point that fans didn't expect. After 3 seasons of torn loyalties, heartbreaks, and love triangles, we may now be heading into Belly's most personal and transformative story yet. But how exactly will Episode 9 lean into her self-discovery? And what clues do we already have? Let's rewind through Season 3 and Episode 8 before we break down what Paris, Conrad, and Jeremiah could really mean for Belly's future. Signs of codependency with Jeremiah. Throughout this season, we've seen Belly and Jeremiah's relationship tested in ways that highlighted more than just romance. Time and again, Belly seemed to bend her will to match Jeremiah's, compromising her own desires in order to keep the peace. She even admitted it herself during their heartbreaking breakup in Episode 8, saying she didn't know where she ended and where Jeremiah began. That kind of statement isn't about love, it's about losing your sense of self in someone else. We've had multiple signs of this. When Jeremiah accepted a job in Boston working for his father, Belly looked uneasy. She hadn't been consulted, yet she smiled and said, "Of course," after seeing his disappointment. When Jeremiah suggested finishing classes online, she went along with it, even though her face showed hesitation. And when the country club wedding was decided on, she swallowed her doubts and said yes. These weren't just compromises, they were sacrifices of her identity. Taylor spelled it out plainly in Episode 8. She told Belly she had chosen Jeremiah over Paris, over her mom, and even over Taylor herself. Belly admitted it, defending her choice by saying that's what you do when you love someone. But Taylor wasn't convinced, saying this wasn't love, it was codependency. Belly's need for independence. Contrast this with Belly's conversation with Conrad back in Episode 5. He told her about moving to California and the freedom that came with it. Belly, on the other hand, admitted she had never had that kind of experience, never been away from home. That was a telling moment. Belly has lived her life anchored to other people, her mom, her best friend, and now Jeremiah. What she hasn't done is figure out who she is when she's on her own. That's why the Paris storyline feels so important. At first, Belly was thrilled when she got off the waitlist to study abroad in Paris. But even that joy was dimmed when she faced Jeremiah's reaction. He was upset about not graduating, and instead of sharing her excitement, she kept quiet. When she did tell him, his support was lukewarm at best. Later, after their engagement, she gave it up entirely, saying it didn't feel right to be apart so soon. Jeremiah agreed, and just like that, another dream was set aside. These repeated choices show a pattern. Belly consistently puts others ahead of herself, but Episode 9 might flip that pattern on its head. The airport cliffhanger. Episode 8 ended with a moment fans can't stop analyzing. After Jeremiah and Belly's breakup, she packed her bag, grabbed the gift card from her mom, and booked a ticket to Paris. But the way she did it was telling. It didn't feel like a carefully planned semester abroad, it felt impulsive, almost like a last-minute decision to escape, to breathe, to reclaim something for herself. At the airport, Belly spotted Conrad at the gate next to hers. He didn't see her, but she saw him. And instead of walking away, she took that first step toward him. That's where the screen went black, leaving us all asking, is this a Conrad and Belly ending, or is this just the beginning of Belly finally putting herself first? Episode 9, Self-Discovery or More Triangle Drama. The big question is what Episode 9 will deliver. Will it be a heavy lean into Belly's own journey of growth, or will the love triangle continue to dominate? From what we've seen this season, the groundwork is being laid for something deeper. Belly's codependency has been called out, her suppressed feelings for Conrad have been exposed, and her willingness to compromise has been tested to the breaking point. Episode 9 could be where she begins to carve out her identity. Paris as a setting isn't accidental. It's the city of self-discovery, art, independence, and of course, romance. Belly being there opens the door for a storyline where she learns to exist outside of the Fisher brothers' orbit. But of course, there's a twist. Both Conrad and Jeremiah are rumored to appear in Paris. The leaks, Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah in Paris. Fans have pieced together set photos and leaks that confirm Lola Tung, Belly, Christopher Briney, Conrad, and Gavin Casalegno, Jeremiah, were all spotted filming in Paris. That's a huge deviation from the books, where Belly studies abroad alone in Spain, and Conrad's letters become the bridge that eventually reconnects them. This show, however, seems intent on making Paris the stage for something much bigger. We've already seen hints of a scene where Jeremiah hugs Belly on a Paris street, catching her off guard. That suggests he goes after her, unwilling to let go, even after their breakup. Meanwhile, if Conrad is there too, it means Belly will be faced with both brothers again. Only this time in a new environment, far from the summer house and far from old routines. What this means for Belly's growth. The real question is, can Belly grow as a person with both Conrad and Jeremiah still hovering around her? On the surface, it looks like more of the same love triangle we've been watching for years. But dig deeper, and this could be exactly the trial Belly needs. Paris might not be about choosing Conrad or Jeremiah. Paris might be about Belly realizing she doesn't need to choose either, at least not yet. Think about it. This entire season has hammered the idea that Belly has been losing herself, losing her experiences, her dreams, her independence. Paris is the chance to reverse that. If she embraces the city for herself, explores it without fear, and makes decisions that aren't based on the Fisher brothers' feelings, that would be true growth. Of course, the presence of Conrad and Jeremiah complicates things. If Conrad is in Paris, their long-standing connection might finally resurface in a way Belly can't ignore. If Jeremiah arrives, his persistence may once again test her ability to stand firm. And if both are there, Belly will be under more pressure than ever. But maybe that's the point. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when we're forced to face the people and patterns that have shaped us. For Belly, Paris might be where she finally confronts the truth, that loving someone else doesn't mean losing yourself. Could this be a different ending? Jenny Han's books ultimately gave us a Conrad and Belly ending, with Jeremiah moving on, but the show has already taken bold steps away from the novels. The Paris storyline is a major shift. The depth of Belly's codependency arc is another. And the constant focus on her loss of identity suggests the show could be building toward a brand new ending, one where Belly chooses herself. Imagine the twist if Season 3 closes, not with Belly choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah, but with Belly choosing Paris, choosing independence, and choosing to figure herself out first. That wouldn't erase the romance, it would heighten it. Because a stronger, more confident Belly would be able to love more authentically in the future. Episode 9 is set to be a game changer. It could deliver the most important twist yet, not by focusing on who Belly ends up with, but by showing us who Belly becomes. So what do you think? Will Belly choose Conrad, Jeremiah, or herself? Will Paris be the stage for a love story or a story of independence? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more breakdowns of The Summer I Turned Pretty.